Will Marissa Peck please join me on stage? This is the Student Award. And Marissa is proof positive that the world belongs to those who show up. Each year, over 330 million tons of plastic are manufactured, and half of that is used only once and usually for less than 12 minutes. Worse, nearly 9 million tons end up in the ocean every year, so much so that in some places plastic particles outnumber plankton by a ratio of 26-1, and much of that material contains toxic chemicals that find their way into the food chain and eventually to billions of people. But a more sustainable future may be on the way thanks to the inquisitiveness and ingenuity of people like Marissa. She's a student at Shelton High School, and after reading that by 2020 the oceans are expected to contain more plastic than fish, Marissa saw the makings of a science project. Her goal was to create a new kind of plastic, one that would resist degradation in fresh water but would be completely degradable in the ocean. And so, working with equipment borrowed from her school science lab and with a small grant that she applied for and won, Marissa went to work. Her hypothesis was that a pollution-free polymer could be concocted from a simple water-soluble solution substance, such as corn or potato starch. It could then be coated with another substance that would protect it in fresh water, but it would break down in salt water, allowing the starch-based polymer to dissolve. It wasn't easy. Some of the materials Marissa first created collapsed into gooey mess, while others cracked under the internal stress. Her testing area was in a much-used classroom she could only access when it was empty. But she persisted and prevailed, and eventually she had 36 promising samples soaking in fresh and saltwater fish tanks for 11 days, and she dried and meticulously weighed each to find out how much of each had dissolved. Serendipity being what it is, Marissa discovered that her methods had resulted in plastics that stood up to salt water better than fresh. It was the opposite she had hoped for, but she still proved something, and with possible applications in keeping plastic particles from overwhelming rivers and streams and lakes around the globe. And undaunted, Marissa tells us she plans to continue her research in college and in her words, hopefully find a permanent solution to prevent oceanic pollution. Aquarion was so confident in Marissa's talents that her talents were so great that our judges decided to beat the Nobel Prize Committee and bestow an Aquarion Environmental Champion Award upon her. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me congratulate Marissa and wishing her every luck in studying science in university. Marissa, please.
Hello. I'd just like to make some quick thank yous. I would like to thank both of my mentors, Dr. Rivera and Mr. Hauer, for their guidance and support. I would also like to thank the entire Shelton High School Science Department for allowing me to use their equipment and their storage space. I would further like to thank my parents who let me destroy their kitchen in order to make my samples. And I'd also like to thank Aquarion for giving me the opportunity to further my education through the scholarship so that I could carry out my project throughout high school and essentially college to find a biodegradable plastic that'll prevent oceanic pollution in the future. So thank you all so much.